Oh yeah, man. Street dances all over the world. Yeah, yeah. You know what you gotta do. What? Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Come on. Oh yeah. The turntable spins, using new ability, agility that wins. And then your crew got burned. To be the master of the craft, you gotta practice to learn, kid. The street dancer breaks with 1990s and the 80s paved the way for the days. B-boys emulating the greats like 43s, crazy legs, dynamic breakers with shake. Let's dance to the beat of the drummer that's funky. Way before the Beatles was bugging on Brass Monkey. Hip-hop, new cruises, Foxy Enchilada. In the Moxie DJing was Africa Bambaataa. Brought back to the Bronx, who hurt the innovator. DJing sound systems, toasting in Jamaica. Got boasting, the host with the most, the money maker. Now I'm moving bricks, but I started out as a breaker. The turntable spins, brothers cautious, listening to Bob James Nautilus, and of course James Brown, funky drummer the sound in the summer, before you saw the hustler in the Hummer. Yeah, and a few years later Melly Mel changed up his gear and switched the game up. The gangs of New York ceased banging for beat, once the whole 5 girls break dancing up in the street. Yeah, the turntable spins, the DJ and MC coincide like twins. The crowd grins cause they know what they came to hear. It's important what you wear, uniform in the fresh gear. Hip-hop was visible and heard by many. A backdrop or a mural in the park with graffiti. Dancers, rappers, original, not phony men. Windbreaker jackets, knee pads on linoleum.
Dance, make it move, keep it poppin', keep it locked down. Dance, first position when they groove, DJ spin around. Dance, it's your time to shine, all the eyes on you. Street dance all over the world.
Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor.
Make it move, keep it poppin', keep it locked down. Dance, first position when they groove, DJ spin around. Dance, it's your time to shine, all the eyes on you. Street dance all over the world.
There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Pre-Employment Webinar 2020, Pursuing Career in the New Normal. So I am Christine Marie P. Bayhon, the Coordinator of Alumni and Job Placement in our campus, and I would be your moderator for today. So I hope that you are all safe and healthy, and this event is made possible by the Office of the Student Affairs and Services, Cavite State University Silang Campus, and of course, in collaboration with jobs180.com. And so early to say, but we would like to thank our participants, our graduating students, as well as our alumni, and also some students from different schools in Cavite. So you may comment your name, course, year, and section in our comment box below. For alumni, you may comment or you may type your name along with your year of graduation. So along with the discussion, so please be ready with your pen and paper. And I hope that we will make this day very productive. So, but first, let us all feel the presence of our Almighty God as we offer Him a song of praise to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
That I am and all that I have, I lay them down before you, oh Lord, and all my regrets and all my acclaim, the joy and the pain, I'm making them yours.
Things yet unseen, wishes and dreams that are yet to come true. All of my hopes, all of my plans, my heart and my hands are lifted to you.
Lord, I offer my life to you. Everything I
mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, telas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iibig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pamay di magtitinig. Luma ng araw ng walhabit pagsingka, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon to all our viewers. So currently, we are streaming via Facebook page of Cavite State University Silang Campus Alumni Association, as well as in the Facebook page of jobs180.com and in their YouTube account. So again, kindly comment below your name, your course, year, and section. And for alumni, your name and your year of graduation. And for other schools, you can also join and participate. So you can also comment and your name and the name of your school. And also, you may tag your friends so that they will be aware that our streaming is currently ongoing. Okay, so to formally start our program, may we invite to our screen our campus guidance counselor to give an opening remark. So, Mr. Mr. Joseph S. Calianta. Hello, sir.
Uh-huh.
Hello,
Welcome and good
sir.
afternoon. Welcome, good afternoon everyone. Sa lahat ng graduating students from different schools in Cavite, welcome. Very timely ang topic natin ngayon at ang magaganap na ang maririnig natin mga information from the Jobs 180. Alam ko rin na double ang anxiety ng mga graduating students ngayon sa lahat ng mga campuses dahil sa gitna ng pandemya ay hindi binibigay sa atin ito after graduation, no? Pero ngayon pa lang ay wini-welcome ko na kayo sa world of work. Remember, my dear students, sa lahat ng napakahalaga na seryoso nating hinaharap ang ating karir at ano ang ating magiging buhay matapos ang semestre. Hindi lingid sa atin at ating mapapansin din na sandali lamang ang panahon ng pagiging estudyante. Tapos yan ay meron tayong mapapansin natin na meron tayong 8 oras na trabaho, 8 oras na pagpapahinga para sa pamilya at 8 oras na tulog. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of family and recreation. But in reality, more than 8 hours talaga ang na-spend natin kapag tayo ay nasa world of work, no? At una, mapapansin lang natin mas mahabang oras ang nabibigay natin sa trabaho. Then eventually, we will notice na ang long part is to get serious in preparing ourselves doon sa world of work. Before, no, naalala ko pa, no, parang Parang we are next in line. Now, kayo na, no? Kayo na. Uh, our hard skills and soft skills will be tested. Soon will be tested. We will be part of the productive members of the society. So, our speaker, the Jobs 180, will give us more informations in handling our own career, the direction of our own career. So, uh, students, alumni, um, welcome to the world of work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir Ote, for that very inspirational message. Okay, so let's grab this opportunity to listen and learn as we prepare ourselves for our future endeavor. And this pandemic is not a hindrance to pursue our career. So I will show you the topics to be discussed this afternoon. So we will be focusing on the effective online applications. This will be given by the jobs180.com representative. We will also be dealing with how to prepare for virtual interviews. So reason why we would really want to continue our career even we are in the new normal. And lastly, work opportunities for Cavitenos will be done through panel discussion. This will be joined by ADP Philippines, Ernst and Young Global Services Philippines, by the Makati Medical Center, VXI Global Holdings, and from the Optum Global Solutions. So after the first topic, you can already send your questions. You can already comment your questions and clarifications in our comment box. Okay, so I guess let's not prolong this anymore, and we will proceed now with our first topic. So to share his expertise on our first topic, which is effective online applications, he graduated with 2 degrees from Ateneo de Manila University, AB Social Science, and AB Interdisciplinary Studies. He has previously worked in the Department of Education, in the Commission on Higher Education, and in an NGO. So his last work is as HR specialist prior to working with schools. So we are very honored and privileged to have with us today Mr. Robert Palomar, the Senior Academic Linkages Officer of Jobs180.com. Hello po, Mr. Robert Palomar.
Hello, good
Good afternoon
afternoon.
po. Good afternoon
Yes
po.
po.
Welcome po to
Nakayos
the
na po ang
webinar po.
aking video and audio. Okay naman po.
Yes po, sir. Loud and
Okay.
clear, and kitang-kita po ang inyong kagwapuhan.
Sige po. Subukan ko na po ang aking share screen.
Yes po.
Sige po. Hintay lang saglit. At aking binuksan na. Okay, pasabi na lang po if naka-up na sa inyong screen. Hello?
Pa-slide presentation na lang po, sir.
Naka-slide presentation na siya sa screen ko. Sa inyo po, hindi pa?
Hindi pa po, sir.
Pwede po pa tulong ko ano nakikita niyo right now?
Yung ano po, yung mga PowerPoint slides niyo pa rin po. Hindi po pa siya naka-slide present. Opo.
Sige po, try ko po ulit. Yan pa, naka-presentation na siya sa akin. Screen ko na
not
siya sa
yet.
screen ko. Sige po, last. Pasensya na po, pati sa ating
Sorry po, yan.
So, from beginning yan.
Because this is, sir, the new normal.
Kasama po ito sa ating pinagdadaanan
Yes po.
na kailangan natin mag-adjust. Teka lang po. Sige. Ayan.
Hindi pa rin po, sir, eh.
Sige, try ko ibang way naman ng pag-share.
So while we are waiting for Mr. Robert Palomar, so Mr. Robert Palomar is a representative from jobs180.com, and we have been in partnership with jobs180.com for, I guess, for 3 years already. So thank you po for jobs180.com.
Okay, so ito
Yes,
po,
sir. Yes,
itong
okay na po.
naman yung sinubukan ko. Okay
Yes,
na
sir. We
ba?
can already see your screen. Yes po, sir.
Okay,
Thank you po. The screen is yours now.
Okay, so thank you. So good afternoon everyone. Sorry for that konting delay dahil sa technical difficulties. Sabi nga ni Christine, isa to sa mga kailangan matuto tayo mag-adjust sa ating way of, I guess, a class. And then ito, yung presentation sa interviews nyo. Yeah. Sama yan sa ating interview, which is kung anong pagdadaanan nyo later on. Okay, so ang aking topic is about your applications, kung paano kayo mag-a-apply, paano kayo, anong magagawa nyo para first of all makontak kayo ng HR. Kasi ang pinaka-important for you, para sa mga mag-a-apply, is that mag-stand out kayo sa mga kasama nyo. Sipin nyo, galing kayo sa same school, same course, and same time graduate, so I guess same job experience. Ako si HR, makukuha ko lahat ng details na to, lahat ng resume, and then kung magkakamukha lang lahat, paano ako mamimili kung sino i-interview ko? Okay, so kaya kailangan tayo matuto mag-stand out. So kaya ginawa ni Jobs 180, itong nakikita niyo sa screen, our latest tool, the resume link. So sa pangalan pa lang niya, it's a resume na nasa link. So very important first step usually pagdating sa pag-a-apply is that you should have your own resume. So usually hingin yan ng HR, can you send me your resume? So sasend mo yung inyong resume, doon magsta-start, is-screen kayo ni HR, and then if okay nga yung content ng resume, ipapatawag kayo for your interview. So para nga matulungan kayo mag-stand out, we have here the resume link. Sa personalized URL for resumes, you can view online anytime. So personalized, you get to choose the link, hindi ito randomly generated na may numbers and letters. So I will show you later kung paano gagawa ng inyong sariling resume link. First of all, though, you need to register. So meron kayong your own school page. You can go here, schools.jobs180.com/Silang, or diretso na lang tayo sa jobs180.com. So meron doon sa taas, if you can see, register. And then, of course, kapag mag-register, yan ang kailangan mo gawin. I don't think kailangan ko na pagdaanan lahat ng ito para naman siguro mabot kayo dito sa Facebook page, sa YouTube. And I guess sa school required na magka-email kayo. So same procedure, usual, hihingan kayo ng details. Kapag may asterisk, required field. Kapag wala, pwede skip. So kaya nyo na yan. Hindi nyo na kailangan step by step. Gusto ko lang mag-focus dito sa resume link. Again, hindi siya randomly generated, so you get to choose your resume link. Of course, ang links ay kailangan unique. So kung parehas yung link na gagawin mo and taken na, hindi siya tatanggapin. So, usual na ginagawa is you use your name. So, your name, sample dito, name ng person is John Santos. But assuming na taken ang John Santos at jobs180.com, you have to be a little creative para ma-personalize pa rin siya sa'yo. Tulad nitong nasa screen, nilagyan ng 01 or underscore. So, parating sinasabi na itong creativity natin should be limited to mga gandang level lang. Wag tong mga sample kong next. Yan. So, if you can see sa screen, malaking X po ang nakikita sa tabi nitong mga samples here. So, what we ask is that you be professional. It's online, yes. It's through a link, but it's not a social media account in the sense na you can post anything. It should be professional. Kasi if you give your link, makikita to ni HR. And anong reflection nito if hindi professional ang bibigyan yung account? Well, less likely na makontak kayo for HR for your interview. And ano ba ang benefit ng paglalagay ng bosspogi.jobs180.com? I doubt na may HR na may isip na pogi itong taong to para i-interview natin dahil sabi niya pogi siya. So, there's no point in making resume link na tulad ng ganito. Okay, so use your valid email yan. I'm assuming kaya nyo na yan. Meron na kayong valid email, mostly Yahoo, Gmail yan. Kaya nyo na yan. And ito, I'm sure ito, kaya nyo na rin, alam nyo na rin na ginagawa, but I need to remind you. You need to verify Because I think maraming nagre-register pero hindi nila na-verify yung kanilang account. So sayang din naman. What happens kapag nag-verify? Well, you need it to retrieve your password once forgotten. I'm guilty of that. Marami akong password na nilimutan. Kailangan kong mag-click ng forgot password, dadating sa main email ko nung retrieve ko pa. So also kapag may notifications na relevant sa iyo, hindi makukuha. So please don't forget to verify. Okay, so naka-register na tayo. Time to complete your information. Again, go to the same site sa pinuntahan nyo kanina. And may login right next to register login, and then login ka lang and then complete your profile. Okay, I'm here to help show you kung paano i-complete ang inyong profile. Again, first step, resume link, kailangan nyo na mag-stand out. So, simulan natin sa profile photo. Always, you need to look, you need to be dressed well, parang, again, professional looking, wag ng mga samples ko. So, again, may malaking X para makita nyo na talaga yan ang mga samples sa screen nyo ng mga things that you're not supposed to do with your profile photo. Again, it's not a social media account. It's a link. It's online, but it's on your professional resume. So, tingnan nyo itong underneath yung check. And you can see they're dressed well. And then yung background nila is solid. It does not have to be white. It could be black tulad yung nandyan. Basta nothing distracting sa likod. For those na hindi available or walang hawak na coat and tie, no need naman. If wala kayo yan, you could at least wear something with the collar. Yun ang pinaka-basic na pwede nagsuotin. Kahit hindi coat and tie, pero hindi bababa sa may collar. Collared shirt, very least. Okay, contact information. This is here just to highlight na ang email at mobile number is usually the way para makontak kayo ni HR. So, make sure na walang typos dito, mobile number usually. So, sayang naman, nag-apply kayo and kinontak kayo, pero dahil lang sa typo, hindi kayo tutuloy sa pag-process. So, don't forget that. Next, work options. You can see here my work options. So, may yes or no. So, let's use this as a sample. Use this as a sample. Willing to work night shifts. So, you can see yes. If no, hindi na darating yung search mo na jobs na night shift. So, this is important. Why? Because, well, I'll give you an example. Ako mismo, I was interviewed for a position before, and then doon ko lang nalaman na night shift siya. So, at that time, hindi naman ako willing to work ng night shift. So, sayang lang yung time ko, sayang yung time ni HR. Could have been avoided if may mga ganitong features sa work options. Okay, underneath, you can see work experiences. Put here your work experience. Put here your OJT experience. Pwede nyo rin lagay dyan. Some are asking us parate if part-time work. Yes, you can put that there. Also, I want to highlight na you could put yung work experience even if it is not directly related to your course. Kapag ganon, iba iniisip na hindi magiging relevant, walang point. No, it shows the HR that you are professional enough, you can handle the workload, you can juggle work and studies at the same time. So, everything there plus points. Another way for you to stand out. Now, ito mga samples ko of you standing out. Maliliit lang, I guess, pero little by little magiging malaki yan if pagpapatong-patong natin. Next, education, schools, course, field of study, kaya nyo na yan, kailan nakakaalam yan, I wouldn't know. Make sure lang na tama lahat ng details. Sa ilalim seminars, reminder ko dito is that kapag maglalagay kayo ng seminars, make sure that one, well, pumunta kayo mismo, you're actually there dun sa seminar na yun. Two, you remember kung anong napag-usapan, ano yung na-present. Kasi ako, I was guilty before, I was part of the seminar, I mean, I was part of the audience to sa seminar, nilagay ko siya sa resume ko, and then tinanong ako about it, but, well, hindi ko na siya naaalala, so, hindi ko na nilagay. Next, certifications. Keep in mind na this is certifications, hindi siya certificates. Certificate bibigay once you attend tulad ng mga seminar kanina. Certifications, you have to prove that you are certified to have this title. Usually, dapat may studies ka, and usually may mga test tulad ng licensure exam for teachers, yung civil service professional eligibility na nasa ilalim yan ng screen nyo, that's usually needed for government regular positions. So yan ang certification samples. Achievements, if you could see here, meron dyan student leader of the year, cum laude, so on and so forth. Dati namin hina-highlight is that if your grades are enough para mag-DL kayo, Latin honors, good for you. Those are legitimate achievements, lagay niyan dyan. But yung iba na hindi best yung grades nila, you would still put in achievements sa other work sa school, sa organizations, maybe as a student leader tulad dyan sa sample sa screen nyo, project manager. Yung iba naman, maybe outside school, maybe you were volunteering, may ginagawa kayo sa community, sa church, sa barangay. So, these are the types of achievements na pwede nyo lagay beyond yung sa studies. Next, skills and languages. Sa skills, I always remind our audience na kapag maglalagay kayo ng skills, don't forget na hindi necessary na related siya sa course nyo. Because, well, you need to stand out once again. Isipin nyo, this is an exaggerated example, but you are a culinary graduate, nilagay nyo sa skills nyo cooking. So, anong added value nun sa HR? Si HR would assume na kaya ka graduate is that you're able to cook. So, maglagay kayo ng skills na even not directly related sa course nyo. Like ito, Photoshop, videography, photo editing, even if culinary graduate ka, maybe it would give the HR sense of your creativity, even knowing you more about you, that you are a creative person. Yung iba, pwede lagay public speaking, this person is confident, so on and so forth. So, don't forget yung mga skills na pwede nyo lagay. Underneath languages, I'm assuming most, if not all, may Filipino, may English. Don't forget, pwede rin other language or dialect sa Philippines. Very important because that's still one way for you to stand out. Some positions ay needing yung ibang dialect. So, make sure na naka-reflect yan dito. Next, references. Ito ang aming mga kinokontact to make sure about your how you do your work either in school or sa OJT or sa part-time work nyo before. Yan, po-contact namin sila, ask you about it. Huwag nyo ilalagay, of course, relatives and close friends na hindi nyo naman talaga naka-work. Mapapansin ni HR na hindi naman ganun ka-valid or substantial ang laman ng inyong reference. Ano yung sasabi ng inyong reference? Next, portfolio section. This is one main advantage of having the resume link versus the standard document file ng resume. Here, you could upload documents, images, links to videos. So, yung documents, usually yan, portfolio, yung thesis, pwede nyo ilagay. Yung sa images, pwede nyo ilagay itong mga usual na hinihingi ni HR na documents. You could see important dito mostly is yung transcript of records and diploma. Madalas yan hinihingi. Sometimes kasi si HR would just request for your resume and cover letter, and then later on back and forth about how about your transcript, how about your diploma. So ito, nandyan na lahat. And also, if you could see, pwedeng siyang visual. If you want something na makita ni HR na mabuti, if na-attach nyo as an image, lilitaw na siya agad. Very important, very useful para na sa may digital portfolio. Sisilipin lang ni HR na idea na siya kung anong kaya mong gawin. And again, as mentioned kanina, pwede kayo maglagay ng links to videos. Some are doing this, what we call the selfie video. You could put anything dito sa video nyo, you record yourself, this person answered complimentary questions about telling something about herself and reasons why to hire her. And it just shows you, HR makita agad how she handles herself, yung confidence level niya. Even in front of camera sa video, we would get a sense of how confident you are and how well yung language skills nyo pwede yan. Okay? Next, another way para lumitaw kayo is that you have a cover photo for your resume link para ma-express nyo yung sarili nyo beyond just words. Okay? So, this actually is a good example. Usually, kapag nasa school campus ako, I make audience guess kung ano yung course nito, and most agree na psychology. Isang tingin pa lang ni HR, may idea na siya. And this one is another good example. This is a picture, and then it goes along with yung text. Makikita niyo dyan. Says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So she made use of this text box to go along with the picture para pakita na she is a goal-oriented person willing to work hard. So isang tingin pa lang, may idea na kami about you. Again, ayaw namin maisip that you are just nasa paper and text. Hindi kayo lilitaw doon. Baka ma-confuse pa kami na iba pala yung nabasa ko kanina. Malay mo, same course, same school, similar name. Yan, mahirapan kami maalala kayo. But if you have something like this, it's better than naman things that you should avoid doing, itong mga pang-mysterious effect. I don't know bakit pa maglalagay ng ganito if hindi din naman magiging useful for them. Instead of showing something good about them, ang impression ng HR ay hindi nasa siya, hindi niya man lang binigyan ng effort to make it presentable. And here's another example. Here, something maybe you would think na as an HR na masyadong kill yung person na cover photo. Again, ayaw natin na yun ang isip ni HR about us. Even if hindi niya actively iniisip yun, we don't know, malay mo subconsciously, yun agad yung na-identify niya, yun agad yung pumasok sa isip niya about the impression of what they see dito pagdating sa cover photo. So make sure to use it well. Here is a good example ng accomplished resume. Ayan, portfolio section, makita niyo yung images, kita agad. No need for HR to click to download. So that's a good advantage. And then of course, yung iba, their main concern since it's online is yung privacy, which is why we made this. Meron kayong privacy settings and you have the option to turn on or off yung gusto niyo makita sa public using your resume link. And the good thing about this is that real-time update siya. If you decide today na okay lang makita na may resume link ko ang aking gender, it's on, okay. The next day, I say na I'll change my mind, off ko na siya. That's good. Real-time update, yung mga may hawak ng link, yung hindi na rin na makukuha, makikita yung gender. This is an advantage over if binigay nyo ang PDF file, Word doc, and hard copy. Kapag binigay nyo, there's no way para mabawi nyo na siya. Okay. So, complete my info, registered, complete info. Now you can submit. So, here are different ways on how you could submit your resume link. Number one, putting your link sa email. So, usually, ito yung spiel pagdating sa making your application, sending it to the HR, yung text dyan, and then i-attach mo. Usually, attach your resume, attach cover letter, and then ang dami-dami pang ibang attachments. Ako minsan na misplace ko na yung ibang attachment, it's on a different computer, or ang nalagay ko ay first draft pala ng attachment. So, kapag nasa resume link mo na lahat, that will be less of an issue for you. Okay, another way to submit your resume link is go to 180.com site, search for jobs there. I'm showing you now my dashboard, actual na account ko. And then, if you search for jobs, you see something interesting, you could apply and then very quickly submit resume link. Makukuha na nila ang info na nasa resume link nyo. So, very easy for you. Okay, itong nasa screen nyo, some would say that they still prefer that they have a printed copy aside from yung meron na silang online. We made it easy for you. May click lang kayo print dyan sa dashboard nyo, and then automatically ma-arrange na siya as a PDF file which you can download and then print. Okay, you can see here naman sa screen nyo, you can apply using cards. This is useful mainly sa mga job fairs kasi you don't need to give away yung buong resume nyo. I don't do 3 pages of your resume na I don't think mababasa agad ng kung sino mabigyan nyo. Usually, they put it aside and then look at it later pag uwi nila. So, itong resume link card, yan, it has your name, it has your resume link. So, sisilipin lang nila yung resume link nyo, everything is there. So, less of a hassle for you, and you get to make it easy for them para makita ang yung profile. Same with devices, i-load nyo sa device, pakita nyo doon. Okay, so key advantages, balikan lang natin. Privacy, choose the information you want to share. Again, very important is that you have your privacy settings and it is updated real time once you change your mind. Speed of hiring, it's a shorter hiring process hopefully for you dahil magsa-stand out kayo, makikita agad yung profile nyo. Flexibility, could be online, could be printed. Cost efficiency, again, pagdating sa printing of many pages of your resume, and well, maiiwasan even if nag-cards pa kayo, mas marami pa kayo matitipid. Other advantages, well, basically, madali siya i-share. It's a link. Anyone gets to share links ng madali lang. Copy-paste nyo lang. Yung iba, sulat nyo, and then type lang yung pinagbigyan nyo. So that's the main advantage. And then, there's no need for USB or hard drive. Again, ang example ko kanina is that yung attachments na nalalagay sa iba't ibang USB, iba't ibang computer, mali na na-download sa email kung saan mo sinave, sa Google Drive, I don't know, maraming pinaglalagyan. And then, sayang kasi na-misplace. Ako mismo may mga files na important na na-misplace ko. Sana na-upload ko somewhere yung final version like ito sa resume link. And we need to save in MS Word and have multiple copies. Similar dyan, kapag yung final lang ina-update nyo, hindi nyo na kailangan na tingnan lahat ng files nyo kung ano yung final na talaga. Okay? So, we will have a few, I'm not sure if I will have time to answer questions, whether here or I may be able to answer if you send it sa amin online through our Facebook page. Pero I will answer common questions. Number 1, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know jobs180.com? Yes. Actually, it's a link. Kahit sino naman makakita ng link, click lang nila, copy-paste lang nila sa browser, and then makikita na nila, which is something sa resume link nyo, which is also similar. I would make the use of this info para sagutin yung number 2. It should be same as itong mga job sites that you can see. Well, there are similarities. Main similarity is that na kayo sa job site, search nyo, may makita kayong gustong job, apply. Okay. Main difference is yung resume link could be updated anytime, unlike yung sa iba, you upload files, download nila, and then yun na yun. Information security, I hope I was able to answer this before. How often should you update your resume link? Update it whenever relevant information ay magbabago. Most likely yung mobile number nyo, update nyo yan para ma-contact pa rin kayo ni HR. Sometimes kasi when we give a resume link to HR or even yung dating standard resume, tatabi ni HR, maybe gusto ka nila as an applicant but hindi lang talaga bagay sa iyo yung opening. And then maybe a month later, makita nila, uy, bagay ito yung interview ko before, gusto ko contact, pero hindi updated yung resume link. Sayang. So, updated every time may bagong information. So that's it for my presentation. Please like us on Facebook. As I mentioned earlier, you could ask us any question. So message nyo lang kami, messenger, email. I don't mind. We monitor yung mga questions and we try our best to answer everything. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Hello po. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert Palomar, for that very insightful talk about the new millennium resume, which is the resume link, right?
Yes,
So I have a question here from one of my student. So, is it necessary to create another Facebook or social media account when applying for a job, since some of the employers are looking for applicants profile?
So, clarify ko lang, they are asking if may complete na bagong Facebook page, different from
Yes,
yung personal. I don't think it's necessary na meron. Kasi, well, ako, if HR ako, makita ko, and ang laman niya is hindi siya masyadong maraming laman. Isipin ko, meron yung iba siguro to, may tinatago ba to. Our main advice for you is that make sure na ang social media accounts nyo walang anything na kapag nakita ni HR would make them think na ayaw nila kayo ma-interview. marunong din mag-Google si HR, marunong din naman mag-type sa Facebook search ng mga pangalan ng applicants. So kapag may makita kaming ginagawa nyo na hindi bagay sa values ng company, hindi likely namin kayo call for an interview.
Okay po, sir. So again, I highly encourage our participants to kindly comment your questions or clarifications to our first speaker, Mr. Robert Palomar. So while we are waiting for some questions, meron din po ako na-prepare na question. So what do you think, sir, is the most important tip that you can give for our fresh graduates?
Most important tip, this goes para naman sa, since na-cover ko kasi mostly sa making our resume, tip ko naman this time is para sabihin natin natanggap na yung resume nyo. And then, chances are, si HR, they do phone interviews as well. So, tatawag sa inyo. So, dun sa mga pinapasahan nyo ng resume link nyo, make sure na you are familiar with the company, what they do, kung ano yung in-applyan nyo. Sometimes kasi maybe tawagan kayo ni HR and sasabihin, we got your resume link. Tapos ikaw, ano ba itong in-applyan ko? Hindi ko na alam. Mahalata ni HR yon na hindi mo alam yung company or yung position or kung ano yung nire-require sa position. So, do your research yan. Basic,
yes, sir.
Before you apply, before you send your resume link, dapat familiar kayo sa company, especially in values nila and what they do.
Yes, sir. Noted on that. So I hope that our participants also take note of that advice from Mr. Robert Palomar. Sir, so can we, do we have a deadline wherein they can submit their resume in the jobs180.com site?
Well, deadline, I guess wala namang deadline in the sense na hindi naman namin sasara. Wala namang time na, okay, by the time tomorrow, bawal na kayo mag-apply. Ang advice namin kasi is that they make the resume link as soon as possible para fresh pa itong sabi ko dito. So, yes, please do it as soon as possible. Baka nga ngayong gabi gawin nyo na para baka may nalilimutan kayo.
Yes, sir. And para po mas ma-encourage sila, how many companies nga po, sir, yung currently you are tie up with for jobs180.com?
Yan ay hindi ko masasagot ng maayos dahil parami na siya ng parami. Alam ko magbigay ng number.
You have a growing family already. Right, sir? So,
mas kasi na nakikita akong question sa comments. I think it's here, yung photo and toga po ay okay lang po ba ilagay sa resume? Yes, it's okay na ilagay nyo. I'm guessing ito yung grad pic nyo. And yeah, it's professional. It shows na, I guess, siguro naman wag yung mga waki kasi alam ko may mga grad pic na nakatoga na may pawaki-waki pa rin. You know what type of pictures ang hinihingi HR? Kapag may nakatoga, I'm sure alam nyo kung alin doon sa mga nakatoga ka ang babagay sa inyong profile photo. Yes, so okay lang gamitin. Ako mismo, ginamit ko siya nung fresh grad ako. So, effective naman.
okay, thank you for that, sir. Actually, we have another question. What is the advantage of Jobs 180 in applying for jobs?
Well, advantage of Jobs 180 is, ulit-ulit ako, it helps you talaga to make yourself visible, stand out, making use of yung sa resume link. Again, it's very flexible kasi it's easy to share. I think, actually nga pa nang mamili ng main advantage kasi there are different advantages. And iba kasi yung ways niya kung paano siya nagiging advantage. Yung isa yung ibang, yung resume link advantage siya para mag-stand out ka. Yung iba yung advantage din, yung security. So, I'm sorry, hindi ko mapili yung main advantage kasi, well, we have different advantages para sa inyo. I guess, yung main advantage would mean kung ano ang important sa inyo right now. If security is what's important to you, if standing out, if expressing yourself, using your photos, yan papasok kung ano for you yung main advantage.
Yes, sir. And jobs180.com has been already here, even though we do not have pandemic yet, right, sir? So this online application is really effective and timely nowadays. With that,
Yes.
sir, I guess there is no other question. So thank you so much, sir, for your time and for sharing your expertise to our graduates. Thank you,
Thank
po,
you. Anytime. Bye.
sir. And now we will proceed to our second topic, which is the preparing for virtual interviews. So we are truly grateful to have Miss Marie Yvette de Robles, who is a senior software engineer and manager at Factset. She has been with the company for 5 years, working with agile teams to build and maintain automated solutions to streamline benchmarks data feed integration to the Factset platform. Before joining the company, she was an assistant professor at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, where she taught computer science courses and published several scientific research articles. So again, let's give the screen to the senior software engineer of Factset Philippines, Miss Marie Yvette de Robles. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Miss Dean. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Thank you po. So I guess your audio and your camera is good to go. Can you share your screen now?
All right, sure.
So let's pronounce fact set properly,
Fact
right?
set.
Yes po.
All right, let me know if you can see it now.
So maybe it's loading. So we cannot see it yet po, ma'am.
Yeah, try it again.
So while waiting, ma'am, have you done virtual interviews before or just now because of the pandemic?
Yeah, actually, just now. So one of the things I'd like to share as well as of this presentation is my personal experience in interviewing people. And yeah, recently because of the pandemic, we shifted to virtual interviews, and I've had a lot of interviews already done virtually. So, aside from giving general tips about managing or doing virtual interviews, I'd like to share my experience as well as an
Yeah.
interviewer of what are the things that makes a person stand out. And yeah, personally, what are the things we're looking for? Uh, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, you can try again. Click on the share screen at the bottom.
Okay. Think. Let me start it again. All right.
Hello, ma'am. Then you can select the application window if you are using PowerPoint or Chrome tab for Canva. I guess. Y- And Ma'am Yvette de Robles is still fixing her technical issues. Ayan po. Yes, now we can see your screen now, ma'am.
All
Hello,
right. So
ma'am.
again,
Yes,
hello.
yes
All
po.
right.
Okay, ma'am,
Okay.
the screen is yours now. Thank you po.
All right. Thank you for waiting. Yeah. So again, my name is Yvette, and I've been in FactSet for 5 years. And what I was going to present is not just general tips about virtual interviews, but also my personal take on how we select individuals or select prospects and what will make you stand out in that particular process. So for this session, I'll be focusing on these four areas. So first is what you need to do to prepare before the virtual interview. And then second, what you can do or what you should do and don't do on the day of the interview. and then some very quick tips after the interview. And just in case you face technical difficulties, just like what I had earlier, so what you can do and how to troubleshoot, or yeah, really just prepare you for that particular scenario. So starting with my first tip in here, so I guess to give you a head start, one of the things that you really need to do is to gather information about the interview. So first, know about the interview platform and the system requirements. So I'm talking about not just, let's say, Zoom here or Teams, but really, for example, if you're entering a technical interview and let's say you're using another platform of, since I'm a computer science or I do technical interviews, say you're using HackerRank, make sure that you solve problems using that applications already. So when you get to the interview itself, you're not worried about the technical difficulties and you'll be focusing on solving problems and really no other distractions or no other technologies that you need to worry about. Aside from that, know about how many interviews you're going to make for that day, the number of your interviewers, the length and the type of interviews, and most especially, know the competencies or skills that's going to be assessed for those interviews. So this is important not just for you to prepare, like know what areas you will be focused on for your practice, like common questions or technical practice that you will need to make. But also, this is important, as mentioned in the earlier topic, to help you come up with a better resume. So now that you know the competencies or the skills that's required for your interview, you can match it up. So, like for example, in my case, I coming from the university and then applying for a manager position, I wouldn't focus on like the courses I thought, but rather since I'm applying for a management position, I would focus on like administrative positions I had in the past, like committees I've led, or like the planning or some researches I've led in the past, which will enable me to package myself as a manager and that is fit to the role that I'm applying to. So similarly in your case, since most of you are university graduates or graduating, so make sure that when you apply for a company, you know about the role and you package your resume highlighting, like for example, projects that you did related to that qualification. So, and make sure that you highlight that and reflect that in your resume. So again, getting this information might be small, but it will give you a really good head start in order to prepare for any interviews, virtually or not. All right. Next is test and practice with technology. So test your webcam, your microphones, headset, most especially your internet connection, and see if everything works fine. Again, what we want to achieve here is that you get to be comfortable and not worry about any other distraction and just focus on the interview. So this part is very important. And then lastly, I just added here a quick tip. I think this was mentioned as well earlier, to make your virtual identity professional. So when you're asked by your employer to create an account, make sure that it's something that's professional. So I hope that you already get rid of your high school like accounts that you just came up with some random unknown like username. So, and make sure that you keep your virtual identity professional. Right. Okay, and now this is the topic I'll be mostly focusing on. So how do you answer common interview questions, or rather, how do you practice answering common interview questions? And I guess the key word here is practice and not memorizing. So those are totally different scenarios, because when you memorize, that will actually show up in the interview. And even if you answer technical questions, actually, the interview will recognize that it's very textbook. And even common questions, it's easily recognizable that it's something that has been memorized. And also, even if you, let's say, you forgot about a word, it's very hard to recover when you memorize something. So really, the key here is to practice and not memorize. So if you can have someone with you to partner in terms of practicing answering these common questions, even if you're not comfortable because it's a family member or a friend, that's fine. You can do that because at least you get different reactions and you can respond based on those different responses that you will get from them. Right. And when you practice, make sure that you practice in such a way that you provide the detailed responses and try to avoid speaking in generalities. So, what I mean by this is speak from experience and not make it general. So let's say when you talk about, like you mentioned, you're a problem solver, for example, that's too general. So why don't you talk about like specific or experiences in the past that makes this or that backs up this particular trait that you're trying to portray. So that's very important that you speak about the details rather than generalities. And also practice in such a way that you complete your response for each question. So practice answering open-ended question. And even if you get like a yes or no question, make sure that you're always ready to explain why that is the case that you've chosen, or yeah, why did you answer that way. And then just additional tips while you're practicing, monitor your body language. So unlike in a face-to-face, you will be mostly focusing in this particular area. So make sure that you're worried about your body language, and most importantly, practice looking at the screen. Rather practice looking at the camera rather than the screen. It's actually a very big adjustment as well for me, and something that I'm still practicing. But as you prepare for the interview, you have to be comfortable doing that. And it will, according to research, actually, it gives more impression, or it gives more like value, or I guess it leaves more mark for the employees and the interviewers whenever you answer like looking straight in the eye, even virtually. So remember to take note of that and practice, or include that in your practice as well. And then lastly, make a connection. So imagine your interviewers might have conducted like several interviews, and what would might make you stand out is really having a connection. Like don't hesitate to like bring up a common interest between you and the interviewer, even just a very small one, and that might already put a mark on that interviewer. And actually, even myself, that might be considered a break or a fun experience for the interviewer. Especially imagine having to interview and give those sets of questions again. So that would really enable you to stand out as well. All right, now we already have these tips. Let's try to do some practice with these common interview questions. All right, so first question that you will usually get is tell me about yourself. So more often than not, this is the first question you will get in the interview. And you have to keep in mind that this question was asked with the recruiter knowing or already going through your resume. So this question is actually better said, or can be phrased like, tell me about something about yourself that's not in your resume. And the way, or one good strategy to answer this question is to like mention a particular hobby that you have, or like an interest that you have outside work, but would also promote your character or personality that you can use in the company you're applying for. So let me give you an example of how I would answer this question if I'm coming off from a university and then applying for a job. I think one of the way I'd answer this question is this way. So I'd say that again, my name is Yvette. One of the things I love to do is playing table tennis. And I learned table tennis, or started to love table tennis when I was in college because it's one of my PE classes. And even after that, my interest grew in table tennis. And so me, alongside with two of my friends, we still play table tennis even after that particular course. And because of that, I started to tell my friends just about it. And just one time, I realized that we're already 10 in the group, like table tennis and just loving the sport. And yeah, it's something that really refreshes me every time. So whenever I'm tired of let's say sleepless nights from academic or from my studies, I would play table tennis and it will refresh me. And I guess from that experience, I realized that if you have a particular passion in one thing, it helps you really strive more in that area and also allows make it contagious for other people to share the same cause as you. And it's something that I'd like to bring into the company as I apply for this particular job. I'd like to share that passion in problem solving, and hopefully I can work with a team that would enable me to share that particular cause. So that's one answer you can come up with. Like start from sharing your personal experience and then just make your personality stand out and have that relate to how you will be able to apply it into a job. So I guess this is one of the important things that you need to practice because this will really set the pace of the interview. This will set just the momentum, your confidence, and just how the next particular questions will be handled. So make sure to practice this question. So the next questions, I wouldn't really give an example anymore, but I just want you to understand the reasoning behind these particular questions, why they are usually asked in an interview. So the next one would be, why are you interested in this role? So this is more on to test if you've read about the company and the role and that you're really interested about the role and you just didn't randomly apply to just any job, and that you really read about the responsibilities and about the company and you really applied because of that. So make sure that you did your research prior to the interview. Next is, what is your greatest strength? I guess one tip I have here is to show and not tell. So what I mean by that is make sure that whenever you say a strength, it's backed up with a previous experience. So actually, when I do an interview, I usually put this in the last as one of the last questions, and the way I would say it is, thank you for sharing that wonderful experiences, or thank you for sharing those information about yourself. Now, to summarize our whole conversation, I'd like to know, what do you think are your strengths? So it's like me saying that, make sure that your strength is one of those or related to those who you just mentioned in our previous interview, because that's already a testament that it's really true. That is your strength, also basing from the experiences in the past. All right, next is biggest weaknesses. So I guess one no regarding answering this question about biggest weaknesses is you work too hard. For example, we all know that that's not a weakness. So make sure that it's a legitimate weakness, because accepting that, we all have weaknesses, or we all have areas to develop. So definitely there's one you can mention. But the other important part when you answer this question is make sure that you're doing something about it and that you mentioned that in the interview. So mention how you recognize that weakness, and from then on, what are the steps that you're doing to address that and eventually turn it into to a strength or resolve that particular weakness. So, yeah. Next is tell about the challenge or school or work you have to deal with. So again, this talks about past experiences. So be prepared to answer this. And why are you leaving your current role? I guess, again, one of the most important things as well that you need to prepare for, and make sure that you turn it positively despite the situation not favoring much on your side. And this is not opportunity. Remember that this is not an opportunity for you to disclose any confidential information or tell negatively about your previous company. Just focus on your future plans and why you want to apply for the company, right? So I guess that's majority of the points I'd like to discuss. I'll just go through quickly of other things or other tips that you can also remember. So the first one is again, make sure to set up the technology prior, make sure that all devices are fully charged and working. The environment, make sure that you will not have any potential distractions. So tell your families that you'll be conducting an interview, and if they can have some quiet time or space for you, make sure to make that work. And then lastly, on the presentation, dress professionally as you would in an in-person interview. So pace your speech. Again, this is part of the practice that you had to conduct, and pay attention to your body language, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah. Right. And then last two things. After the interview, just don't forget to follow up. So just send a quick email saying that you thank the employer for giving you a time to speak. And if there's a question that you wish you had answered differently, or if there are additional concerns, just put it over that email and make it clear and concise. So don't elaborate much, so it will be easily noticeable by the employer as well. And then lastly, again, planning for technical difficulties. Know if there's other way, like to connect from that link that was provided to you, or how to rejoin the application or close the application. And then lastly, make sure that you have a way to contact your recruiter. Have it handy, or just put it somewhere near you. So in case you really there's really trouble with your setup, or you can't really connect, you can easily contact your recruiter and tell them what's going on, or if you can or if you can reschedule, for example, the interview. Right. So that's the last tip I have. I guess thanks everyone for listening. So just for job opportunities in Factset, please visit this link. So jobs180.com/Factset careers. Again, so just to give a very brief description about Factset. So Factset is like financial intelligence company. So it serves like a one-stop application where clients access financial data and make crucial investment decisions. So there are a lot of opportunities within Factset, not just from information technologies, but really there are a lot of supporting like cast that's making this work. So again, personally, I wouldn't have stayed in Factset for 5 years if I'm not satisfied with the way the environment and how it actually treats its people for career and development, and even the benefits that I get out of Factset. I'm really personally thankful about those opportunities. So if you'd like to know more about Factset, just feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to answer or accommodate whatever questions you have. Right. So that's it for my presentation. Again, thanks everyone for listening.
Yes, thank you, Miss Yvette, for a lot of tips with regards to virtual interviews. And actually, some can really be used during face to face interviews, right? So, what I learned and what I take note already is, of course, to practice, right? So, even though you can say that you are already done interviews before, for example, I'm already interviewed before, but then every experience you should do practice, right? So it would really make you almost perfect or close to
Yeah.
perfection. So I have few questions here. So on Facebook, there is a question, pwede po ba Tagalog sa interview?
I guess siguro, ayan, one thing ay, ayan, pwede magtagal. I guess, to answer that, I'd say practice in English, to be honest, because you might be applying for a company that's working closely with, foreign, like for example, in Factset, there's opportunity to work closely with people outside the country. So, and that's one thing that might be tested as well for you. So it's better if you practice in English. So, and you will know it kasi when the interviewer asks questions in English, so that's the sign for you already that you should respond in English, because it's the interviewer trying to facilitate the discussion and trying to really get to see on how you communicate in English as well. So yeah.
Actually, ma'am, the next question is also about that. If I have struggles in answering the question in English, can I have the answer in Tagalog to deliver well my ideas and avoid miscommunications?
All right. So again, practice is the key. So if you
Yes.
already know that you're not comfortable in explaining that particular idea or topic in Tagalog, yeah, practice in English, like outside, like ayun, practice in English before the interview. So expect that, for example, tatanungin ka sa thesis mo. So practice na i-explain mo yung thesis mo concisely in English, if you feel that that's an area na that you have to, yeah, practice. Yeah.
And they can also practice using some of the questions that you showed earlier, right?
Mhm.
Because those
Yeah.
are typical questions that will be given to them. Okay, so there is appreciation comment. So thank you so much for the very informative presentation. And hello, Miss Yvette. And we also have another question. During an interview, should fillers be avoided or minimized?
I guess in any presentation, as much as you can, you avoid it, or monitor it during your practice. Again, just to be clear with everyone, so it's not really parang kung kunyari hindi ka nakapag express well in English, baka hindi ka na matanggap. It's just that you have to prepare for those scenario. So it's not a strict compliance, but definitely we're talking about you standing out. So imagine if you have the same qualifications and then one person can communicate well in English. So yun, that would really make you standard. Pero I'm not saying na parang wala ka ng chance if you're not able to express. It's just something that you can take note of when you prepare. Yeah.
Yes, noted on that. And we have to be globally competitive. That's in our mission,
Yes.
the university. Okay, and what if this is about the virtual interview per se? What if I disconnected? Is it a negative impression to the interviewer?
And I don't treat that as negatively. Again, these are scenarios that we can't avoid. And definitely, we understand, or the interviewer should understand that that's something that we didn't anticipate. So yeah, just reach out to your recruiting manager and say that despite you did your testing, but it's just really unexpected, like you lost your connection and you wish to proceed with the interview or the next steps or what you can do to reschedule. So yeah, definitely. I mean, do your checks before that. But if anything goes wrong, yeah, definitely it's something that that's understandable.
Another question, ma'am. Will it leave negative impressions if there are unavoidable circumstances in our house that will disrupt the interview process, like barking of dog, not proper lighting, and then noise from neighbors?
Mm. So again, try to find the best environment that you can set up for the interview. But then again, we understand the difficulties in the work from home setup. And to be honest, even myself in meetings, sometimes you can just avoid your niece, for example, just suddenly running or shouting. Just just do your best to set up a quiet environment. Just tell your family that you'll be conducting the interview. But if in all of, even despite the preparation, there are unexpected events, again, that should be that should be understandable and not taken against you. Mm.
So those things will not give negative impressions to the interviewer,
Yeah.
right, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
I guess I have another question here. How will I know that I pass or fail the interview?
Okay. So usually after the interview, the interviewer would tell you that we'll review with the hiring committee and we'll get back to you about the results. So that's not a straight yes or no. It's just that you really need to evaluate after the interview. So usually, well, in our case, after some few days, you'll get a response of whether you pass or fail. But I guess at the end of the interview, you get to have a feel as well as to how you performed in the interview process. But even if the recruiter wasn't able to get back to you in a few days, you can always send an email and again ask for a follow up. And yeah, and we just thank the interviewer for the opportunity.
Yes, and with that said, I guess everything is already clear, and I know that our students and our graduates learned a lot from your tips with regards to virtual interview. So do their research and practice, practice, practice. Right, ma'am, Yvette?
Mm. Mm.
Thank you
Yep.
so much po
Yes.
for thank you so much po for being part of our webinar for this afternoon. So again, thank you po and a virtual applause for Miss Yvette de Robles from Factset.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
And now we are down to our last topic. So, which are the work opportunities for Cavitenos? So, this will be done through panel discussions. So, we are truly grateful to have a lot of companies with us today. So, we have Miss Shaira May, VU from Makati Medical Center. We also have Mr. Dennis Supetran from Ernst and Young Global Services Philippines. Miss Reese Pasia from Optum Global Solution. And we are thankful to have with us this afternoon Miss Potch Tort from ADP Philippines. And lastly, Mr. JP Galarion from VXI Global Holdings. Good afternoon to all our panel members. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome po to Cavite State University Silang Campus.
Thank you for the welcome, Christine, and welcome to all of the students and also our faculty from CVSU that's joining us for today.
Yes, po. So we are truly grateful for your presence today. So again, for our participants, so kindly comment your questions to our panel members. So I have here one question, and I would like to address this to Ma'am Christine Pasha from Optum. So with the economical status of the Philippines due to pandemic, will it limit the opportunities of to most of our graduates? I mean that most of the companies experience layoff to cope with the pandemic. Will it matter in accepting number of applicants?
Hi, Ms. Christine. So for that question, I think to answer that, at least on Optum's end, is that there would be, of course, a little bit of worry. I mean, on your end, definitely now, especially during this year with the pandemic and everything, and you hear news about being people being laid off or people getting their salaries cut. But at least in our organization at Optum, we quickly delved into the situation. We handled the pandemic very quickly and made sure that we had business continuity plans in place. So since March, since the lockdown, we have continued our operations, and we also continued our recruitment. So we, of course, transitioned from a face-to-face recruitment process to a virtual recruitment process, and we made sure that we still had several opportunities within the organization. So even until today, we are currently hiring. We are hiring also registered nurses and fresh graduates at the moment with our opportunities. So you can always check that out on our career website.
Thank you for that, Miss Christine Pasha. Can I also address the same question to Mr. JP Galarion from BXI Global Holdings?
Hello.
Hello po, sir. Good afternoon po.
Hi,
So,
Christine. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. So for me to answer also the question regarding with the changes considering that we have the pandemic. Well, for VXI, we the hiring that we have or the demand the headcount that we demand from our clients are actually did not change. Well, from the transition from face to face, yeah, to online applications, from the work from home setup, all has been settled and adjust as well, so that we are ready to accept all of the applicants without compromising yung hiring demand na kailangan namin. So there's no need to worry actually regarding sa changes. So yeah, we are still, looking for candidates or applications. We are still open for applications for everyone pa din. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. So I guess that your company is really pursuing the career of everyone despite having the pandemic. So
Yes.
next question would be addressed to Mr. Dennis Supetran. So is there any changes with regards to salary because of the pandemic or benefits, salaries and
All right.
benefits?
Thank you for the question, Christine. And I think, like what my fellow panelists have already shared, it's not so much, downturn in terms of like, there's less work, but rather a lot of the industries, a lot of the clients are taking a pause and seeing, how is the COVID-19 health pandemic affecting their business, affecting the volume of work. Now, for example, here in the Philippines, we're 9 months into our, quarantine or extended quarantine status. And what we're seeing from EY's client's perspective is that the volume is now, solidifying and more becoming again as stable. So, for example, for EY, I think what our commitment has always been really is, to both the Philippine market and making sure that we make our global market because, EY is one of the big four professional and accounting services firm in the globe, right? And so that's also reflected with the salaries that we're offering. And what we've seen just within, the Philippine perspective here, we've kept our salaries at a competitive, level. So from a graduate's perspective, I guess the message that we have for them is really, look for those companies that have a strong set of values because oftentimes a lot of the decisions that they make based off of what salaries to give you, what package and what office setup they will provide you are based off of those values. So, for example, EY alone, just within this pandemic period, we've still onboarded 520 new hires, and that's expanded. That's almost 17% of our workforce during the pandemic season or during this pandemic period. So that shows the EY's commitment to the Philippine market and to the sites that we're setting up here in the Philippines.
That's a great news, sir, right? That you still hired a lot of
Mm-mm.
applicants. So I guess for our fresh graduates, they do not have nothing to worry about, right?
Yes.
So for Miss Potch Tort, same question po, ma'am. So is there any changes with regards to salaries and benefits?
Hi, Christine. With regard to salary and benefits, no changes for ADP employees and incoming ADP hires because we're already pretty much set with the list of compensation and other benefits. We're keeping to standard. And the thing that we always emphasize with our potential candidates is that in itself, we're not really built for work from home because understandably there are certain companies that really started out as work from home companies, and admittedly we're not built like that. We're built with the intention of working on site, but of course adjustments have to be made in relation to those who are already employed by the company and in relation also to those who are coming in and about to join the company within the period of this particular pandemic. So I guess to sum it all up, no change.
So another great news, right? So thank you so much for these companies that would really care for their people more, right? So now, because of the pandemic, how would you care for the mental health of your employees? So good afternoon po, Miss Shaira, you from Makati Medical Center. So we all know that you are really affected by this, your workforce. So how would you care for the mental health of your employees?
Hi, Miss Christy. Thank you so much for asking that question. It's very important for us, especially here in the hospital. We are at the front lines of the battle. And I also have to leave my mask on because of that. I'm broadcasting live from the hospital. With regards to mental health, right now, the hospital has already addressed this several times. We do conduct several we do seminars regularly. Our psychiatric department, they make sure that we have a Facebook group that addresses employee concerns, and we also do counseling on site. So we make sure that we take care of our frontliners here at the hospital.
We have a question from Facebook, and it's not mentioned who is the person intended to. So, are they accepting intern and also hoping is it possible to have an online on the job training? So, I guess and anyone who can answer. So, are you accepting intern as of the moment, and is it possible to have an online on the job training?
I'll take that question, Miss Christine. So, from my understanding, at least this year, it was quite challenging to accept interns, especially with the guidelines of CHED that internship would be suspended for the year due to their protocols for the pandemic. But at the moment with Optum, we are looking into ways of how we could innovate the internship program within our organization for 2021. We are anticipating that some universities would still be doing blended learning or learning online. So we have to also think of ways to adjust to that, especially for the internship to help the students. Currently, I think at least from the CHED guidelines that it's kind of difficult and challenging to have internships online. But so I think by next year we would double check if this is going to be a possibility already.
Thank you for that, ma'am. How about from any other of our panel members?
Mhm. Hi, Christine. I'll add to it. Again, same with my colleagues' response for Optum. For Ernst and Young, I think the pandemic really has put front and center the concern not just for the employees' health, it's also for those future potential employees, which again is part and parcel of the OJT program. So for the upcoming school year, we'll be reviewing what could be done and what guidelines based off of CHED's discretion and also the announcements on how we can do it. But just an example, pre-COVID-19, we actually had an EY Ripple. So this is a corporate social responsibility program that we actually partnered with Marawi State University, wherein we actually had several of their students that we sponsored a trip to Manila and covered their board and lodging, and that's where they were able to conduct and complete their OJT status. After which once those that graduate with high honors and did well during their OJTs were actually extended an offer to join us. So I think the commitment for EY for those that will join us through our corporate and also our campus channels will be great. And that's why, for example, for our CVSU graduates, please make sure that you also reach out to your placement office and also keep track with your professors in terms of how the OJT program for next year can come about, and so that we can do it safely and at the same time keep it a learning experience for everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, for that very insightful comment. And now, I guess this is a general question. When is it
Sorry.
necessary? When is it necessary to conduct a community investigation or CI among applicants? So, Mr. JP Galarion, can you answer the question? When is it
Hi,
necessary to
hi,
conduct
Christine.
a community investigation or CI among applicants?
Well, for VXA, actually none. So, what we just need is, of course, ask those applicants if they are amenable to work on site. So, well, during the interviews naman, we ask if the candidates are available to work on site. So, there's gonna be no CIs needed on this. So, yeah, all we just need to know if they are, available and good to work on site.
Thank you so much for that, sir. So, is it possible that you will adopt the work from home setup even after the pandemic, Miss Potch? Is it possible that you will adopt the work from home setup even after the pandemic?
Hi, Christine. I mentioned it earlier. The company itself is not really built for work from home. The intention is really to have everyone come back. The company right now is making adjustments with regard to construction and making sure that we are able to employ proper social distancing protocols once the head office feels that confident enough to have everyone come back to work. In as much as we want to say yes to keeping in doing this continuously, unfortunately, that's not our original model. And by the way, if you don't mind, I just like to add to what was mentioned earlier regarding internship. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to share earlier. I hope you don't mind. I just like to mention that for ADP Philippines, we are open to virtual internships. However, it's specific to our HR departments. So if there are candidates in the field of HR or students in the field of HR who would like to explore internships with us, they can apply through our page on Jobs 180 or through the ADP portal. However, we request that they are specific with regard to their intended position, which is for internship. So I hope you don't mind. I kind of injected that. Thanks, Christine.
No worries, ma'am. Actually, that's my next question. For each company to give a background of the hiring position, because we also have some alumni here in the webinar. So, for other companies, can you give what are the positions you are looking for as of the moment so that our participants may have an idea where to apply? So let's start first with Miss Shaira from Makati Medical Center.
Hi, Christine. So for Makati Medical Center right now, we are closing in the year with very few openings. But of course, definitely when we come back next year, there will be a lot of new opportunities for our fresh grads. Currently, we are still actively pooling for registered nurses. It never ends, as you know, but we don't have any active vacancies anymore. So the active ones are medical technologists. We also are hiring for patient service representatives, which accepts any courses. So I'm sure this could cater to Cavite State University graduates and alumni there. So it's very easy to apply. All you have to do is to visit jobs180.com/Makati Medical Center. Make sure your resume link is updated and then just click on submit resume link. So from there, your application will be sent automatically to us. Thank you, Ms. Christine.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I am a registered nurse. However, I am already in the academe.
You are
Okay, so
already in the academy.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay po.
Can we
How
still
about
change your mind?
I already took up my master's of science in biology, so I guess this is already my track.
All right.
How about from Miss Christine Pasha of Optum?
Yes, Miss Christine. So with Optum today, we are continuously hiring for fresh graduates, registered nurses, also USRNs. If there are any USRNs available here, we do have positions available at the moment. And of course, candidates for our health advocates or customer service roles for our four sites in the Philippines. Now, for you guys to check out more of our openings, you can go to our careers website, which is workatoptum.com, or you can always look into jobs 180/Optum for also our current openings. So that's it. I hope that you really get to look into great opportunities and make sure that to always develop and always continue to learn during these times.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Christine. Um, all Christines are pretty, right, ma'am? Okay, let's
Of
hear it
course.
from Mr. Dennis Supetran from
Mm.
EYGS.
All right, and I definitely agree with Christine comment. All Christines are very beautiful indeed. So for EYGDS, I think we'd like to invite everyone to again take a look at our site. I've posted the link, and I'll wait for the admins to also post it to our live stream chat. More importantly, I think the message I have for the graduates is aside from the openings, keep an open mind because a lot of the companies are seeing that we have incoming graduates that may have been coming from a different background and are now pursuing alternative careers in other fields of industry or other fields of work. And that's why, for example, even though we have our current openings for our seniors and staff that are coming from an accounting background, we're also welcoming our HRM candidates because we are also continuously hiring for our talent shared services. And there's really a lot of openings in EY, and we continue to have, like what I mentioned before, that commitment to grow. And more importantly, we've set up the company that when you come in, there's a lot of programs available. For example, one of our flagship programs right now is what we call our EY Tech MBA program. So this is a postgraduate master's degree that all of the costs are covered by EY, and it's available to all of our employees from day one. So it's regardless if you've been with the company for 10 years, 5 years, you can apply for that program, and that helps everyone get set up for success regardless of what industry or field that they want to go into.
Okay, thank you so much for that, sir. So let's hear it from Mr. JP Galarion. So what are your job openings and vacancies, if there is?
Hi, Christine. So for VXI, actually we are actively pulling for our customer service representative, technical support representative, and sales representative. So currently here in Luzon, we have 5 sites. One located in North, we have one located in Clark, Pampanga, one in Quezon City. Here in South, we have site located in Makati and MOA, and one in Bridgetown, Pasig as well. So for all our viewers there here in Cavsu, well, I believe MOA is like 40 minutes away from Cavite, right? So currently we are accepting candidates with or without call center experience, specific for our Mall of Asia site, and we offer really competitive salary for that site as well. So for further details regarding with the salary or the complete package of our Mall of Asia site, I would like to advise you guys or suggest that you visit our Facebook page on Facebook. We are also doing our online job application through Facebook as well. So you just can send your details on Facebook, then we can probably process your application. So the rest of the openings from the other sites will be posted as well on our Facebook page. So this coming January for 2021 hiring for VXI MOA, we are currently pulling for at least 200 agents. And again, we are welcoming fresh graduates or candidates with or without call center experience. Thank you.
So that's a great news for our fresh graduates. Okay. And lastly, Miss Potch Tort from ADP. Already given, right, ma'am? Okay. So now for the last, sorry for that. For the last
What do you mean?
question, let's have some final tips or final words that you can share to our graduating students in this challenge or in their future endeavor. So let's start first from Miss Shaira.
Okay. Well, just a few tips, especially considering we are in very difficult times right now. During interviews or during your application process, recruiters don't really mind. Well, I'm speaking for myself, but I don't really mind if you are speaking from your own experiences. You don't have to be super skilled when you apply for a job. Right now, I believe that we are hiring more. Um, we are hiring people who have good attitude and good mindset when it comes to the job. So that's very important. Make sure that you are ready and you are your expectations are set when you are about to accept a job, and that your expectations are also based on realistic expectations that you also experienced when you were still an intern, maybe back in college. So that's very important. And then, of course, keep yourself grounded. You will get to where you need to be. Just make sure that you also persevere, and definitely you will succeed.
So I guess perseverance is the key. So that's from Miss Shaira. You. So what can you advise to our graduates, Miss Christine?
Yes, so for the graduates and actually everyone in the call, I think what I can share with you guys a few tips would be really continue to learn. Make sure that you are not close-minded to think that you know everything already, because even today for myself, I still learn something new each and every day, especially with speaking to my colleagues and my leaders and mentors. So it's important to be open to new learnings. Also, especially in applying for a job, never give up. It's going to be tough, to be very honest. A lot of people get it easy. They can get a job in after their first job interview. Some people have to go through 5 to 10 interviews before they land their first job. So just make sure that you don't give up. Make sure that you do your research very well on the position and also the company that you're applying for. And of course, just really make sure that you um, learn from your mistakes and also continue to look for that right job, especially for you. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. So what I learned from that is that learning should not stop, right? We should learn continuously and we will learn every day. Okay, so what are your advices to our viewers, Mr. Dennis?
All right. Thank you, Christine. I guess, I only have two main tips. First is, your mindset will take you farther in your career compared to your skill set, because, over time, skill sets change, technology changes. But the mindset that you bring to the work, to the industries, and even to the fields that you find yourself in will really help you in good stead. Second tip I have is really, focus on what could be, the future of work. Not a lot of industries, may be set up to do remote or even, flexible working conditions. But again, a lot of companies are continuing that journey, and this is not just prompted by the COVID-19 health pandemic. There's a lot of other factors that continue to change the landscape of our industry. That's why, don't just think of this time as, a challenging time, but also this is a very very good and unique opportunity that you can brush up in terms of your digital skills, your electronic and even platform skills, and that will help you in good stead in whatever company you end up with. Like, for example, EY alone, 98% of our workforce right now is working not just in Metro Manila but scattered all across the country. We have people as far up north in Ilocos region. We have around 100 plus staff that are working out from Cavite, and then we have people that are actually as far down south as Zamboanga or even Cebu. And that's made possible by really the commitment of the company to its values, which is really focused on our people. And that's the same message that I have for everyone. Continue to look for those opportunities to learn, be flexible, and be agile in your mindset, because that will help you get farther on in whatever career that you choose for yourself.
Those are nice tips to ponder for, right? Okay, and now let's hear from Mr. JP Galarion. Any tips po, sir?
Hi, Christine. So, well, for me, it's gonna be, be passionate on what you do, because when you are in college, you really parang tend to, pass all the grades, and also you want to achieve your goals. Well, if you're currently now looking for a job or wanting to be part of an organization, it's gonna be like your passion to do what you really wanted to do. Well, there's gonna be time that you have challenges, ahead of you, but it's gonna be fine because challenges are will be part of you growing. So you just need to be really be passionate on what you do, on what you have plans in your mind, and also your goals moving forward. And also it is I would suggest also, guys, for you, yeah, to research for the companies also, because for me, I was actually a previous intern from VXI as well, so I've been with the company for 4 years already. So if you really find a good company who you can really express yourself, explore yourself, then you will be going to be more passionate about on what you do, because you know that your leaders or the managers or the leaders are will be there supporting you. So for me, it's gonna be passionate is the key. Be passionate on what you do.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And lastly, let's hear it from Miss Potch from ADP. Hello po.
Hi. So if JP's mentioned that passion is the key, I would have to add to that by saying that learning is the key. It's very important for potential candidates to research, know the role, know the company, know what you can expect, know what you should expect from any particular job that you are applying for. For example, for us at ADP, currently we are actively looking for people for the finance departments and also for our sales departments. We are pooling for operations analysts, and we are also looking into other openings for next year. So if you are the type of candidate or the type of applicant who would just go ahead and submit applications anywhere without studying it, then definitely there's a high possibility of failure for that. But if you consider taking time to actually looking into the company's profile, looking into the role, and looking into the specific opportunity that you're intending to apply for, then there's going to be a higher chance of success there. So spend time knowing yourself and knowing the thing that you are applying for, because if you are unable to do that, then you're basically setting yourself up for failure. So that's it. So good luck to everyone who is intending to job hunt at this time of the global pandemic.
And again, thank you everyone to all our panel members. So our participants learned a lot from all of you. So once again, thank you po in behalf of Cavite State University Silang Campus. Thank you so much po.
Thank you so much, Christine, and
Thank
happy,
you,
Merry
Christine.
Christmas to everyone. I hope everyone
Ay.
stays safe and healthy as
Merry
well, and a
Christmas.
happy New
Thank you,
Year.
Christine, for having us.
Thank you po. Happy holiday.
Happy
Happy
holidays, everyone.
holidays.
Thank you po. Okay, so our students, our graduating students, and our alumni, I hope that you take down notes of their tips and advices and their job openings. Okay, and now we are down to our last part of the program, which is the closing remarks. So, closing remarks will be given by the coordinator of Office of Student Affairs and Services, Miss Maricar M. Lila. So while waiting for video to the recorded video of Miss Mary Carlilang for her closing remarks. So is there any other question that you can ask?
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all well. Um, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the wonderful people behind this successful event. First and foremost, I would like to thank our campus administrator, Dr. Jocelyn L. Reyes, for her unending support and for making this event possible. Second, to Jobs 180, to their resource speakers and their technical staff for their time and effort that they put into this event. Indeed, this is a successful event. It is our pleasure to work with you again. Again, thank you so much. And of course, to CVSU staff, especially to Ma'am Bayhon, for her time and effort and for making this event possible. And of course, lastly, to our participants, the graduating students and the alumni of CVSU Silang, thank you for making time to attend this event, this pre-employment seminar. I hope you learned something to our speakers and I hope you apply them in the real work setting. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and your future careers. And again, thank you so much everyone. Stay safe and God bless.
So thank you so much for that, Miss Marie Carlila. So before we end, I would like to remind everyone to please create and verify your resume link. Okay, so for our graduating students, so kindly create your resume link as early as now. Okay, so we also want to mention that if you would look for a job, so you can go to jobs180.com/EYGDS for Ernst and Young, Optum, ADP rather, Makati Medical Center, and VXI. So there you can pass your resume link. And we will be sending for a while the evaluation link. So I hope that you can really fill this up so that we can know how we can improve for our next webinar. And lastly, I would like to thank everyone, our participants. So we are really thankful for your presence and for your participation this afternoon. And also, we would like to extend our gratitude to jobs180.com. So this will not be possible without them helping me in facilitating this event, especially to Mr. Kim Chua, their manager, and the rest of the team, to the technical team, and to all the speakers. Also, we would like to thank our technical staff in Cavite State University Silang Campus, Mr. Charlo Gana, our staff in the Office of Student Affairs and Services, Mr. Joseph Calianta, and Miss Maricar M. Lilang. And again, thank you everyone for your participation. So you may also visit jobs180.com in their Facebook page, and you might want to watch their future webinar. So they have a webinar tomorrow. So they have the Marketing Me Live tomorrow in CPU Iloilo. So you can go to their page and watch their webinars there. So with that, I guess we all have a fruitful afternoon. And again, thank you so much. And I hope that you have a good career in the future. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.